Yep.
Perfect. Good morning. I'm sorry. Sometimes it does tend to do that. I don't know what's the problem there, but it sometimes happens. As long as you can see me, you can hear me. That's fine. I can see that my connection might also not be the best. Might be the problem. It says here that it's poor. Might be the one. Perfect. How are you feeling today? Good Monday. Good morning. I mean, I don't know if it's morning for you. Are you in Vietnam or are you back?
Yeah, I'm in Vietnam. It's 6 p.m. now, but it's
Oh,
been a good Monday.
okay,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's a big time difference still. But you have a very good English.
Thank you. Yeah, I work with mainly people from US and UK, so
Okay, because you don't
it's
you don't sound you,
it,
you sound like literally English. You have a very good English. That's why I was wondering if you were actually in Vietnam or if you actually lived in England. Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
My team is based in Vietnam. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us, and good afternoon in that
Mhm.
case. If it's 6 p.m., it's almost the end of your day. Thank you for. I also had a look at your website. I think I understand pretty well what it is that you do, but obviously I'll have a bit of questions. So if you can just give me a bit of a rundown into what you do and what you're looking for, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we start, is there a way that I can get this a recording of the session
So
after we finish?
that's actually you're the first person that asks me this, but it's actually funny because the calls are automatically recorded. So yes, the call is recording. I'll send you the recording once it's done. 100%.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I just need to show my team this after
100%.
I wrap up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me share a bit about our business. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we are well, we provide software as a service
Mm-hmm.
applications. Our team is mainly serving BigCommerce, which is an e-commerce platform.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two apps right now that are on the BigCommerce app marketplaces.
Okay.
They have been on there. We launched, I think, in 2021. So it's been a while now.
Okay.
Quite recently, though, we are trying to get more leads
Mm-hmm.
from BigCommerce merchants.
Okay.
We have noticed recently that BigCommerce is not doing quite well. So one of our main lead source has been underperforming. So
Okay.
we are trying now to we want to try out outbound marketing
Okay.
mainly through emails.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we did have a campaign, an outbound campaign recently that we did ourselves, but the
Okay.
results are quite underwhelming.
Okay.
So our main priority right now is having a consistent source of leads
Leads.
coming from our emails,
Mm-hmm.
um, and of course that should be corresponded with a good ROI on
Mm-hmm.
the investment that we want to give to the EDM channel.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, yeah, if you can tell us more about your services,
Mm-hmm.
maybe your pricing structure and all of that,
Yeah,
that would be very
100%.
helpful. Yeah, and I think one of our primary concern with EDM at the moment is related to email spam rates.
Mm-hmm.
We Our main channel for the previous year was SEO,
Okay.
so our SEO team is raising concern that if we use the domain that we are using for our emails
Mm-hmm.
to do outbound marketing, that could negatively affect
Affect.
SEO.
Yes,
So
100%.
yeah. So if you can tell me about a little bit more about your internal processes and if you have any mechanism
Mm-hmm.
that you know reduce the spam rates or the
100%.
bounce rates and all of that, yeah, that would be very useful.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's everything on my end. If you have any questions, I can probably answer those.
Yeah, I'll probably have a few questions just before we start so that I can also understand a bit more about your company. So let me try and recap.
Mhm.
100%. So that you said a lot of things and a lot of things raise a few questions. So in terms of you said
Mhm.
that you've ran an email marketing campaign before internally, but the results were underwhelming. Do you have any ideas why that could be and any suspicions to why that would have been?
I think the number one reason of the previous campaign failing is due to a
Size?
lack of good context.
Okay.
We are using we're using Apollo
Okay.
to crawl emails.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo is a great tool if you're doing B2B SaaS, but
Mm-hmm.
not as it doesn't function as well if we are doing e-commerce.
Okay.
A lot of e-commerce sites usually don't have context to actual people.
Okay.
So it's really hard because I believe Apollo uses LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and only a very small percentage of
Of
e-commerce sites have
on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn profiles.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So crawling for good context is
Mm-hmm.
a big problem for us.
Okay.
And also, I think since the results are so underwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
it could be due to the content of the email itself.
Okay.
But since it's only one campaign, we haven't done much A/B testing
Mm-hmm.
and research into that. But
Okay.
I think the main reason is the freshness of the context.
Could be, could be. And I mean, in terms of that, we use several different lead generation tools, such as Rocket Reach, Zoom Info. We have a lot of different databases that we'll use to scrape, so that will help with the targeting and getting the contact information. So that could also be a way to go around that. But then you mentioned results. The results are poorly. What then is it to you? The result. What is it? The scope of the campaign? Would it be because I saw that you first of all you offer two different products, so the automate and the backdoor, if I'm not mistaken. And I was wondering,
Back order.
back back order. Okay, that's the one. And
Mhm.
are we going to be pushing both, or are we going to be focusing on one? How does that also look?
The last campaign we pushed for both. So we have,
Mm-hmm.
I think, our marketing guy came up with like 6 different email
Mm-hmm.
sequences. 3 of them are for one product, and the other one, the other
Mm-hmm.
3 are for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's based the different email sequence were based on our ICPs for each
Okay.
product.
Mm-hmm.
So we segment those out by different industries.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, in terms of the results, like the actual results that we saw, we sent around 2,000, I think, 2,000 different contacts.
Okay.
But we only got a conversion rate of 2 marketing qualified leads
From
um,
2000. Okay. I
from
understand.
2,000
I understand
exactly.
why
Yeah.
would you say underwhelming and underperforming. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I understand.
I think the open rates was about 7%.
Okay.
Click rate was around 4%, which is quite surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you a little bit more about the CTA that we used.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think each sequence has 3 different email stages.
Yeah.
The first stage was a redirect link to the landing page.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 2 were special offers that our sales team came up with to
Okay.
incentivize people replying to
Mm-hmm.
the email thread.
Okay. I understand.
But yeah, the 2 leads converted with the sales offer. Yeah.
Okay, I see, I see. And then in terms of this, the goal of the campaign, would it be to then, for example, book a demo? I can see that you have the option to have a free trial, book a demo. What would then be the ultimate goal of the campaign with the emails as well?
Booking a demo
Booking a
would be
demo.
the conversion. Yeah.
Okay, I see, I see. No, that's completely fine. And then you also mentioned that you've been working with BigCommerce, which is one of the e-commerce platforms, and that this is underperforming. Does that mean that will we still be targeting BigCommerce, or are we going to go after other e-commerce platforms as well?
We are only targeting BigCommerce merchants, so
Okay,
e-commerce stores that is using BigCommerce
BigCommerce.
as their e-commerce platform,
Okay,
because our app only works for people using BigCommerce.
okay, understood,
So that's
understood,
a prerequisite.
understood. And in terms of, you also mentioned that you've uh, divided your campaigns and your sequencing emails by ICPs in different industries. So, is there any kind of industries that you'd be looking to target? Anything that more specifically that you could give me an idea as well?
Yep. Mhm. Okay, yeah, let me find that file. Just give me a sec. Right. So for the automation app, we noticed a lot of our people were using the app with some similar industries,
Okay,
and each industries have a specific use case.
okay,
So, for example, our first ICP was mainly focusing on stores within the apparel and fashion industry,
Okay.
and luxury goods and jewelry and all of
Mm-hmm.
that. So ICP1 uses our app mainly for sales and marketing automation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main use case.
Okay.
A different ICP number two, was stores within retail and F&B industry, food and
Yeah.
beverages.
Mm-hmm.
These people uses our app mainly for operation automation.
Mm-hmm.
For example, sending like internal email notification, um,
Okay.
connecting BigCommerce with other apps. So yeah, that's that specific use case. The two ICP we have for the other app, which is back order,
But
which is an inventory management app,
okay.
mainly focuses on uh, sports and hunting goods.
Okay. That's very specific.
Yeah, very specific,
Yeah.
because these people usually use our app to allow for pre-ordering,
Okay.
which is something that's not available
Mm-hmm.
within the native BigCommerce
Okay.
platform. Yeah. So yeah, our ICP is really like narrow, like
Mm-hmm.
niche.
Okay.
So yeah, we came into a big problem crawling for email contacts. I think mainly because all of our
Size.
ICP are
Yeah.
very specific.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. Understood. Now that makes sense. I'm trying to think of anything else that could be relevant. So I mean, in terms of obviously, I also saw your website. I saw that you already have a lot of partners and you've worked with a lot of people. And in terms of that, then was it then people that you've acquired then through your? How did you come basically? How did you come about the people? Are you running? Did you run any campaigns other than the email marketing that you've mentioned, or how did you come about the people that you've worked with basically?
Well, our partnership, we have a partnership manager guy. So he's in charge of like keeping contacts with our partner network and
Mm-hmm.
um, partner relations. The way that he acquires partners, I'm not so sure if he's using email, um,
Okay.
but I'm quite sure that he's not doing email marketing to acquire partnership because BigCommerce itself has a very strong partnership network.
Okay.
Um, so there are communities and there are channels that different partners can find each other based on our needs and requirements. Uh, so yeah, I don't think he's using email for acquiring
Okay.
partners.
And in terms of the clients that you already have,
Sorry, can you repeat that?
in terms of the clients, how did you come about acquiring the clients that you're already working with?
Hmm. So yeah, like I said earlier, our main source for marketing qualified leads are from search engine optimization.
Okay.
But also BigCommerce itself has a marketplace for applications. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like Apple's App Store.
Mm-hmm.
So people can go on there and search for apps that they like or a feature that they
Mm-hmm.
need.
Need. Yeah.
Yeah, and our app would pop up on the
Okay.
result page.
Okay.
So yeah, search engine optimization on Google and also on that marketplaces are
It's been
main two
working well.
channel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been working well until last quarter, which is when
Okay.
it really took a big hit.
Okay.
BigCommerce, the platform itself, has been declining
And
over the
why
last 6 months.
and why do you think that is? Do you have any insights to why that is?
Yeah, well, BigCommerce main competitor is Shopify, and
Okay.
if you just straightly compare the two platforms, Shopify has more friendly features for
Mm.
smaller businesses,
Okay.
and BigCommerce main ICP is like enterprise businesses.
Okay.
So they have been reducing the number of BigCommerce stores
Mm-hmm.
quite gradually from uh, 2023 until today.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so inbound marketing has been quite terrible
It's
over the
just
last
declining. Yeah.
like 2 months. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, exploring outbound at the moment
Okay.
seems like
I
a good
see.
idea.
I see. And do you have
Mhm.
any plans then, for example, in the future to migrate to Shopify, or are you planning to just work with? Ooh. Good question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the moment, our dev team doesn't seem too interested
Okay.
on migrating to Shopify, mainly because some of the features that our apps offer
Wouldn't be
is
able
already available natively on
on
Shopify.
Shopify. Okay.
So yeah, we kind of out to apps on BigCommerce kind of have a monopoly
Mm-hmm.
on the features that we provide on BigCommerce,
Okay.
not so on Shopify.
On
Yeah.
Shopify. I see. No, I understand. That's completely fine. I understand. I think I understand most of what you're saying. And so, and then my last question would be then, in terms of your goals of acquiring new marketing qualified leads, then you said you'd be looking for email. Is there any specific reason why you would like email, or are you open to also all the different channels, any other means of acquiring leads? Because I mean, as you said, you've run an email campaign that underperformed immensely. So I mean, there's a lot of other channels that we can use to reach out. So I was trying to understand if there's any other means that you'd be open to, or you're looking for email specifically.
Mm. In terms of the channels, the different channels that we are exploring, I think email come up
Hmm.
since I think our marketing team has done some like basic research on like effective B2B marketing channels,
Hmm.
and email and ABM uh, came up a lot. Uh, I
Maybe.
think we didn't go with ABM similar to the fact that most e-commerce businesses don't use LinkedIn or they
Okay.
don't use social media that
Hmm.
much,
100%. I understand that.
especially with big commerce stores. Yeah.
Okay.
So email seems the only viable channel at the
Okay.
moment. But yeah, if you
And
have any other
and
suggestions, yeah.
calling, would calling work? Would these e-commerce places would have a number that you could call to? Because that could also be a channel for us to pursue.
Mm. I think our internal team doesn't have the skill set for code calling at the moment.
Okay.
Uh, and
So,
yeah, we haven't been too keen to explore code calling agencies. Yeah, that's not something that we ever looked into.
but because you have something against it, or because you haven't thought of it, or is it something that should be open? Because we offer cold calling. It's one of the channels that we use for lead generation. Cold calling is one of them. Could be something worth exploring. If email has been underperforming, we could look at calling if that's something that you're looking for. If not, we can also stick to email. I don't know.
Yeah, I think only email at the moment. Yeah,
Okay.
code calling is yeah, I haven't put too much thought into that.
Okay, because I mean, it's always an option. I mean, we can start with email. If we see that email is not performing as well, we can also open to cold calling. It's something that we could do. But I would see cold calling having a good success here, because the thing about calling is that, other than email, you get an answer on the call. It's a lot easier to speak to. You get the person on the spot, on the phone. You can talk to them. Other than the email, you have to be reliant on then opening the email. So it could be something worth exploring. And we've done it in the past where we've called for e-commerce platforms. So we've done it in the past, and it has had good results. So it could be something worth exploring. But obviously, it's up to you and what you'd like at the moment. We could start with email, and then if we see that calling could be a good option, we can do it. One other thing that I was thinking is, I don't know if you've experienced with ads and running ads. Is it something that you've ever done?
Yeah, yeah, ads
Not really.
similar performance. Yeah, just because of the fact that uh, the keywords, like the specific keywords that
Hmm.
people have to search to get our apps showing up,
They don't have enough
only
traffic.
has like yeah 100 200 average monthly traffic,
Okay.
and that's like a good month. That's
Okay.
like yeah. So it's in terms of ROI, it's not worth investing. Our
Hmm.
search engine optimization team is already covering all of the keywords that we might even think about running ads.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. No, I understand. I mean, then I think that leaves us with the email, as you've said. And I mean, in terms of running an email campaign, that is something that we are more than used to doing. Remind me, what were
Mhm.
the questions and the specific considerations that you've asked about the email, so that I can also address them, if that's all right. I remember that you said
Yeah.
something about
So yeah.
the domain authority, and that is a good point that you've brought. And in terms of using an email domain, we would use something that is quite similar to yours. We'll make it as similar as possible, but we won't use your domain because, obviously, as you said, because of questions of domain authority, then we wouldn't be using your exact email domain, not only for the domain of your own email, but also the SEO effects that it has. So we would come up with our own domain, so that's not an issue. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I think you mentioned spam rates, which is something that we are concerned with.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can tell us more about like I mentioned earlier, uh, how we are getting our data has
Mm-hmm.
become like a roadblock for us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can provide some insights on your internal process on how fresh your data is,
Mm-hmm.
and if we need to do anything to provide you with our ICP and all of that to help that
Yeah,
process move along, that would be very useful.
100%.
And also question on pricing and expected return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that I will not be the decision maker of moving forward with your
Mm-hmm.
agency or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be gathering as much information as I can from different sources and
Okay.
present
To them.
to my higher up. So
Mm-hmm.
as much information that you can give me would be very useful. Yeah.
100%. I mean, in terms of the process and what's needed from your side, as you said, we would need the other ICPs and to understand who we will be targeting. Obviously, I mean, I've already shared some information into that, but we also then, if we do go ahead, we will need a lot more information so that we can understand who you're going to be targeting. Obviously, in terms of how we would get that information, as I said, I think at the moment we use six or eight different platforms and databases to acquire the information. So we have a lot of different platforms that we could get to use the context. And if we see that maybe some of them is giving us some contact information that isn't as relevant, then we can explore all the platforms. So that wouldn't be a problem. And the way we do it, as I said, you'd give us the ICPs, we would gather the information, we'd put all of this information into the list, the contact list. Then we would sort that list because, as you said, you also have different ICPs in different industries, so it doesn't make sense to have all of them in the same emailing list. So we'll divide it in the list. We'll create different copies to address the different targets. Obviously, I don't know. You said that I don't know if we can either do this by ourselves or if you already have some kind of or materials that you like to use. You said you have case studies and stuff like that. We can do a mix. We can write the copy ourselves. We can integrate your materials to also make it a stronger case, if that makes sense. So we'd come up with a case. We'll write, as you said, probably 1, 2, 3 different emails to also test what's working best. We'll start reaching out. All of these emails, as you said, would also be sequencing emails. We would spread them out with, I don't know, that's something that we can also then discuss further, but like we can send it every 2, 3, 4, 5 days to also be push them into converting, but not in a very pushy way, if that makes sense. And then in terms of the email setup, we'll purchase all the domains, we'll set up everything, we'll make sure that we warm up the domain so that it circumvents that matter of landing in the spam boxes. We'll do all the setting up, we'll do all the warming up before, and that will ensure at the end of the day that we would minimize the spam rates, if that makes sense. But then in terms of that, it's just a matter of running. We would usually, the way that we would do is we'll start by sending out not as many emails as we would by the end of the campaign, but let's say we start sending out by 50, 60, 70 emails per day, so that we also have an understanding of what's working and what's not, because there's no point in exhausting the context at first. So we start slow, we start sending out, we start seeing the responses, we start seeing the opening rates, click rates, everything. If we understand that, then we can pivot towards that, and then we can start increasing the scale as well. So initially we would aim to send probably around 50, 60, 70 emails per day, and then progressively we'll start increasing that number to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 emails per day, depending also on the contact size of the list. But then from that, we'll have systems in place. We'll create different email sequencing, email funnels. We'll take that on a more ongoing basis, if that makes sense.
I think that's a good answer to the avoiding spam rate. So you create let's say a subdomain based on our original domain, and then get that. What did you say? Like warming up the domain?
Yeah, 100%. We'll warm,
And
warm up.
that's something that you will do internally on your end.
100%, because that's the main concern. Is if you send out emails without the domain being warmed up, then you end up in spam boxes. Your domain
Mm.
authority also starts to decrease. So it's very important that ahead of doing this, and that's also part of why we would start by sending less emails, because we would need to warm up and start sending at the same time, and then as things start to get more and more consolidated, then you can also increase in scale. So that's how you go about not ending up in a spam box.
Mm.
100%. And then
Yeah,
you,
got it.
yeah, and then you also mentioned pricing. So in terms of pricing for an email campaign, it's £204,097 per month, so 2497, roughly 2.5 thousand pounds per month, and it includes everything that I've been mentioning here: the setting up, the copy, the everything, the different email sequences and funnels and everything. But I'll also follow up. Obviously, I'll follow up with the proposal that has everything in written, more detailed, and also the recording of the call. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that you also mentioned the ROI. I mean, in terms of ROI, it will have, obviously, I can provide a more detailed. I'll have to study that a bit more. Also, depending on your pricing structure, I see that you have different pricing structures for the two different tools. And I didn't really understand if you're going to be sending out emails for both tools, for both Automate and back order. Sorry, are we going to be using both, or are you going to be focusing on one?
Um, well, would that affect the pricing at all? If we
No,
choose one or two?
no, not necessarily. No.
Mm. Yeah, I think we're focusing on both then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's completely fine.
similar in style. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's completely fine. I was just trying to understand then, because and then because what I was trying to say is that obviously it's very hard to ahead of time guarantee anything, because uh, every campaign is very specific, and I can I can run a campaign for Coca-Cola and a campaign for Pepsi, which are pretty much the same and have completely different results. But
Right.
this to say that guaranteeing anything ahead of of actually launching the campaign and start seeing what the responses are is a bit hard. But what we do and how we do it a bit different is that obviously we're going to start reaching out, we're going to start sending out the emails, start pushing your agenda basically. And what we're going to have happen is that people are going to start raising questions, people are going to start raising objections. And what we do is, while we're warming up the systems and perfecting the systems, we still want to provide you with value, obviously. So what we will do is we will share all of this information with you, all these questions, all these objections, because not only this is market research that we're going to be doing for you. It's like what people are saying in real time, so that you can also adapt your product, adapt your messaging, adapt your strategy, and basically just overall better your company as well. So we'll provide this with you for free as a byproduct of our product, and we'll use your answer, we'll understand your answer, so that we can also perfect the system. So basically what happened was, we'll lean on you to understand how to handle these questions, these objections, so that we can perfect the system as much as possible. We'll adapt the copy, adapt the emails, adapt everything, so that the system can become as efficient as possible. And you will lean on us not only for the market qualified leads, but also this market research that we're going to be doing for you. And that's how we make sure that we provide value throughout the process. Not only because obviously at the beginning, and it's something that either you work with us or you don't, you'll understand that the initial month is always going to be slower, obviously, because there's all of this setting up and understanding the process and how things are going. So I was always obviously going to be a bit slower the first month. But to circumvent that and to make sure that we add value regardless, we aim to always provide you with all this market research that we're also going to be doing for you. And that's how we also do it a bit differently. But yeah, I don't know if you have any questions about that, anything that you'd be looking to know.
Yeah, I think I got everything. Uh, I don't know if you have time to share information about if you have any like relevant case studies or not,
Mm,
just based on what our products are.
mhm,
Yeah, if you can share some insights, if you have any experience
mhm.
with in the industries.
100%. I'll make sure to also in the proposal include, we have a bunch of video case studies that you can have a look. We
Yeah,
have a clutch profile that has, I checked it this morning, has 69 reviews. And there's a bunch of SaaS reviews there as well, from SaaS products as well. So yeah, more than welcome to have a look at that. There's a lot of things that you can have a look. That's completely fine. I'll
Yeah,
include that.
yeah.
I'll
Mhm.
include that in the proposal if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Yeah, I think
Perfect.
that's everything that I need to
Mm-hmm.
ask. Yeah, if you can send me your proposal and any relevant data
Mm-hmm.
and files, that would be great. And I'll probably reach out to you a week, 2 weeks
Okay.
after I receive that.
That's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask. That's what I was going to ask. Obviously, um, I was just trying to understand if this is something that you're looking to start immediately. Is it something that you're waiting for something to start, or is it just you're going to talk to a bunch of agencies, understand what's the best option, and then you're ready to start?
Yeah, our tentative timeline for starting the email campaign is around the middle of June,
Okay.
since e-commerce summer sales is coming up, and
Okay. Exactly.
that's usually a big season for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the opposite.
So
You're the opposite. A lot of companies look at summer and they think, "Hey, now everything's going to stop with summer." You're the opposite with e-commerce. Everything
yeah,
speeds up during
exactly.
summer,
We
100%.
kick off everything during June and November. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the two seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's completely fine. So 2 weeks, that's completely fine. But yeah, 100%. And I mean, one thing you also said that obviously you're not the decision maker, you're just the middle guy basically. But if you were the decision maker, then how does this process sound to you and in comparison to other agencies that because obviously I want to answer any kind of things that you any concerns that you might have ahead of you talking to your superior. So if there's anything that you is concerning to you, anything that even in comparison to other agencies that you'll be speaking to, if there's any red flags, anything that
Mhm.
comes to your mind.
Yeah. Oh, there aren't any red flags. I think your
Mhm.
processes are quite similar to the other
Yeah.
agencies that we talk to. Um, in terms of the pricing and ROI, I think you're very similar to a very similar
Mhm.
agency, US based.
Okay.
Um, even though I think the other agency is guaranteeing at
Mhm.
least based on a weekly basis of like results.
Mhm.
I think that's not going to be taken into consideration just because the product that we are selling is so niche.
Mhm.
So we aren't expecting any commitments.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
That's the thing. That's
So
the thing.
yeah,
That's
I appreciate you being transparent with
that's the thing.
your
That's
ROI.
that's I mean that's the thing. We've been doing this for 8 years. We've been doing this for quite a long time. And what we understand is that first of all, lead generation is not an easy service to deliver because obviously people don't want to be called, people don't want to be emailed. So it's obviously a bit hard to guarantee stuff ahead of time. However, what we found out is that, as I said, we've been doing this for a long time. What we've realized that no one knows more about your business than you do, and no one will know more about our business than we do. So, in order to provide you the best possible results, we need to create a bit of a partnership, a bit of a synergy where we join efforts, and we'll, as I said, we'll lean on you to know how to perfect the system as much as possible. Because, as I said, no one knows more about your business than you do. So, we'll need to learn from you how to answer all of these questions and make the system as perfect as possible. And then you'll lean on us for the leads and for this market research. And by doing so, this is our guarantee. What we guarantee is that we won't guarantee you 20, 30, 40 leads per month because many agencies do that, but what ends up happening is that then they'll push everything they find to you. They won't be qualified. There won't be anything. They'll just try to meet the numbers, and they'll probably won't even meet those numbers. So what we'll do is that what our guarantee is that we'll work together to understand what the best process for you is, and to at the end of the day, we'll provide you with the best results by doing so, not by promising you leads that it's impossible to guarantee. It's literally impossible. And if they do guarantee you, they're just telling you what you want to hear basically to also close the deal basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
I
what
get that.
yeah.
Uh, I think yeah, yeah. Like I said earlier, I appreciate that. Uh, I think every information like you shared within today's meeting has been very
Hmm.
helpful. Um, and in addition to the files and data that you'll be sending later, I'll just have to confirm a few things with the PIC to get the
Hmm.
final decision on this.
That's completely fine.
So
Of
yeah.
course, of course.
Mhm.
No, that's completely fine. I have a few more meetings today and a few proposals to build, but I'll aim to get something through to you late. If not today, latest by end of day tomorrow, you should have the proposal already.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect. All right. If that's all, I don't know if you have any questions before you go. Anything that comes to your mind before you go while we're here?
Not right now, but I can reach out to your email if I need anything
Okay.
else.
I was gonna ask, do you perhaps are on WhatsApp on this number? I haven't checked yet. I'm trying to check now.
WhatsApp.
Probably not. I think WhatsApp is not as big on that side of the world. It's more this side and America. It's like a
Yeah, I don't
communication.
think I have WhatsApp.
Okay, no, it's completely fine because we work a lot with
Yeah,
WhatsApp and it's a very quick. It's like what's the name? Hmm. Telegram. Do you have Telegram? No.
yeah, I think I do. Yeah,
So it's like a Telegram. It's like
Telegram or Slack. Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's either or. Like, but we usually work with WhatsApp. It's a very
Mhm.
quick, easy way to communicate. But if you don't, it's fine. We can just communicate over email. That's completely fine. So yeah, I'll send
Yeah.
everything. I'll send everything through to you by email. And again, either end of day today or end of day tomorrow, you should expect to already have it.
Yeah, that would be great.
Perfect. All right, Dean. Thank you so much. Have a good day. I mean, it's probably the end of your day. If it was 6 p.m. then, it's probably now 6:40 already. Perfect. I hope you have a good day, and we'll chat soon then.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you
Perfect.
have a nice day too.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. Cheers. See you soon. See you.
All right. See ya.
Bye.